What's good, everybody? Joe Nice, live and direct, November 18, 2020, November 18th, 2020, November 182020. We're going to turn off the space heater and we're going to turn on the gas. I'm going to say that again. We're going to turn off the space heater and we are going to turn on the gas. Normally, I wouldn't be doing these live videos on Facebook because I just don't like what Facebook stands for and what they represent. But I figured, hey, you know what? I normally do my daily chats on Instagram, my live and direct chat series. And many of you understand that I've been doing these live videos, my gosh, basically since the pandemic started. So we're talking March 23rd, 24th. And I've been basically doing them on a day-to-day basis. I go ahead about a half an hour ago, a little more than a half hour ago, about 35 minutes ago. I'm getting ready to set up. I'm getting ready to post up. And I'm getting ready to do what I do best, which is have the daily conversations that so many of you all want to have on a day-to-day basis. Next thing you know, I get an error message saying, hey, you know what? You've been censored. You've been blocked. We don't want you on here. If you feel we've made a mistake, let us know. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? No, this is Instagram just fucking with me, whatever. This is some bug. Fine. Let me try it again. Hey, yeah, community guidelines. Based on your usage, we have to protect our community. And because of that, this function won't be available for you. I'm like, okay, well, all right, let me turn off the phone, restart the phone. This is just some weird shit, whatever. Turn off the phone, reboot, restart, replenish, rejuvenate. Same error message. So I'm like, all right, fine. We close the app, shut it down, put it on again. Same stuff again. So Instagram, I think, has effectively decided to censor me. They decided to try to silence my voice. That's an issue. Because if anybody understands anything about censorship, the one thing, if you have an opposing view, the one thing you don't want to view is censor somebody, because that's only going to incite that person to speak a little bit louder and have a bigger megaphone. And in fact, I got a megaphone. I wish it worked. It doesn't work. I just put new batteries in it and it still doesn't work. I need to get that fixed. After Eric O'Kerman, 1/3 of the biggest, the baddest, and the best right now, attorney in sound, he's got a notice. He said, your chats have been informative and helpful. Thanks again. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hope me, you, Andrew, and Jack get to slice and dice again real soon. Real soon. Doesn't matter where. It could be Minneapolis. It could be St. Paul. Could be Los Angeles, Seattle, Vancouver. It doesn't make a difference. Hope we all get to act to doing what we love doing, which is expressing ourselves artistically, specifically musically. But yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. You speak a little truth. You talk about Wall Street and the White House with one of the videos I dropped yesterday with me and Kat, episode 24 of the Joe and Kat chat series. We talked about a whole lot of stuff in that video and then when I went live with my man Chief in Los Angeles yesterday on Instagram Live, next thing you know, all of a sudden, wait a minute. Whoa, Joe, we can't have you speaking this kind of truth. We're gonna hold you off on Instagram for a little bit. So we're gonna see if this video actually gets posted up, because we all know that if Facebook likes to censor people, so does Instagram. Instagram likes to censor people. People, they want to shut down communication. Okay. We'll see what happens. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, anything that anybody wants to discuss, I'm here for a little bit. I'm here for a while. Normally, I wouldn't be wearing a hat and scarf indoors, but I just came in from a little bit of grocery shopping and running a couple of errands, and I didn't feel like changing out. My jacket's in the closet. I'm still quite comfortable. So if there's anything you all want to discuss, anything that's on your mind, have at it. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to discuss. Protests taking place all over the world. Stuff happening in Thailand. There's tear gassing people with water in Thailand right now. The protests in Poland are still taking place. Lockdowns all over the world, especially across Europe. The United States has coronavirus cases spiking through the roof exponentially. And we still have a government consisting of a 435 group membership in the House and 100 senators of these United States, 538 members of Congress that have done absolutely nothing to make sure that the people of the United States has any sort of economic stimulus. Nothing at all. They've done nothing for anybody. Nothing. CARES Act expired July 31st. The $600 extra unemployment has run out. For many people, for millions of people, unemployment benefits have run out. Coronavirus cases are spiking through the roof. At this point, I'm not sure why Americans are paying taxes right now. I'm not sure why we're paying taxes, quite honestly. I'm not sure why we're paying taxes, and I'm not sure why anybody should continue to listen to what our government has to say at this point. Because our government said, hey, you know what? Stay home, stay home, stay home, stay home. And because you get to stay home, we'll take care of you. We'll make sure we don't kick you out of your house. We'll make sure that we put some money in your pocket, and we'll make sure you have enough food to eat. Stay home, stay home, stay home. In the interest of public safety and public health, stay home. That's what our government told us. That's what our government told us. What our government ended up not doing is living up to their end of the bargain. And anybody that's done anything with regards to any sort of contracts, okay? Because this is what it is. After Angelo from Colombia, I appreciate you. I miss Bogota a whole lot. Every contract has three parts: offer, acceptance, consideration. Offer, acceptance, consideration. And the government, the relationship between the United States government and its citizenry is a social contract. It is a social contract. And the glue that holds that social contract together is this document right here, the United States Constitution. I'm not sure why any of us should be continuing to listen to our government right now. I have no idea, given that they have not held up their end of the bargain. They have not held up their end of the bargain. They haven't done what they said they were going to do for the citizens of the United States. They said, hey, you know what? We'll pay you money. We'll keep you safe. We'll keep you in your house. We'll hold off on paying student loans. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. And many of you have seen me over the past year and a half on Saturday nights. In fact, when I played a show in Paris a while back, and I got to see some people in the streets in the Gilets Jaunes, the Yellow Vest protests, some of the people I was hanging out with, kind of giving me a bit more of an education as to what the Yellow Vest protests were about, even though I kind of knew about it a little bit here and there. So I said, you know what? As my way of showing support and raising awareness, every Saturday when I play a show, I'll wear a yellow vest, put it on Instagram, and let people know what's going on. Because that's, I can't be in Paris and be playing a show in Vancouver, British Columbia at the same time. But if I wear a yellow vest and raise awareness, that's what I've been doing. Pandemic hit. I'm still wearing a yellow vest when I go out and protest, and I'm still taking pictures of my selfies and wearing a yellow vest and raising awareness. What America needs right now more than ever is a yellow vest protest, a yellow vest style protest, where workers of America shut this whole damn country down. Shut it down. Shut it down. And we need to go ahead, and we need actual worker strikes, and we need a boycott of all these large corporations that continue to screw over the working class of this country. After Key Brent saying they will still fail to hold up their end when it comes to treatise of indigenous people. I damn sure agree. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. 1,000%. Corbin Dallas saying, yeah, because they're about to sell us all out like indigenous people were, saying that COVID-19 was an excuse to rush in the NWO as the Great Reset. I agree. The New World Order is a real deal. How do you think this vaccine got approved so quickly? With 95% efficacy? 95% efficacy, when it takes years and years and years to approve to test, then approve a vaccine, then all of a sudden a couple of different pharmaceutical companies come out and say, hey, we got one that's 90% effective. Hey, we got one that's 95% effective. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not falling for the okie doke. Angelo Pinto saying, big up from Colombia. Key Brent saying, thank you for speaking the truth, Joe. I appreciate you. I'm not buying it. Keep Brent saying no Black Friday. Look, there should be no Black Friday, no Cyber Monday, no nothing. No Amazon, no Walmart, none of it. None of it. Adelio Ines saying, thank you for saying what you were saying. Big companies are doing great and COVID has hurt the little guys but helped the big guys. Absolutely. 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 And when you think about what COVID has done to helping out the little guys and the big guys, and hurting the little guys and helping the big guys, think about this. The stimulus package, when the CARES Act got passed, I think I want to say late March, early April of this year, the richest 1,000 people in the United States and biggest corporations received $4.7 trillion. $4.7 trillion. What did the people get? The people got a $1,200 stimulus check and temporary $600 increases on unemployment benefits. That was it. Panita Applebum saying support local minority-owned businesses at all costs. I damn sure agree with you. I agree with you. Support your local businesses. If you got a co-op grocery store, I got a co-op grocery store about 10 minutes away from where I am. I shop there. Support your local co-ops. Support your local grocery stores. Support your local businesses now more than ever, because what we're seeing right now is that the United States federal government is not going to do shit to help the American people. Adelio Ines saying, support your homies' art. Fuck buy music. Fuck Amazon. I agree. The hell with Amazon. The hell with Whole Foods. Fuck Twitch, Audible, all of these companies that Amazon is supporting. All of them. All of them. Corbin Dallas saying, yep, we should boycott everything at this point. Yeah, Joe, keep none of it. Down with big tech too. I agree. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut everything down. There needs to be a massive workers' strike across this country. There needs to be a massive workers' strike across this country. Other than people who are ineligible to strike, and there are certain groups of people who are ineligible to strike, basically public employees where public safety is what their job is. So firefighters, police officers, emergency medical technicians. If you have a public service job and your job is to make sure to protect the public, you by definition cannot go on strike because of labor agreements, worker agreements, etc. Other than that, shut it down. You work at a local gas station, don't show up. If you're slicing deli meat at the local grocery store, don't go in. Don't go in. If you're stacking shelves at the local Target, stay home. Stay home. If you work for a landscaping company, blowing leaves and picking them up, don't do it. And by the way, could somebody make a quiet leaf blower, please? Can somebody do that? Somebody? Anybody? We've got quiet vacuum cleaners. You can turn on a Dyson. The Dyson fan is nice and quiet. Can somebody make a quiet leaf blower? Somebody's got to figure that shit out. Somebody. Anybody. And I guarantee you, now look, there's a lot of racism and a lot of bullshit that takes place across the United States. I guarantee it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And it's real. It's tangible. You can taste it. I was in Graham, North Carolina on Monday night. And 2 weeks ago on a Saturday in Graham, North Carolina, there was a couple of marches and protests and the police in Graham, North Carolina ended up pepper spraying a bunch of protesters. I was there on Monday night. I stayed around for about 45 minutes to an hour, then I drove back home. Later that night, I found out that 5 people were arrested in Graham, North Carolina. And Graham, North Carolina is only about 30 minutes away from where I am right now. And in Graham, North Carolina, there's the town square, and there is a Confederate statue in front of the courthouse in the town square in Graham, North Carolina. And cops were arresting people left and right. I didn't get arrested because I'm too slick, I suppose. Or maybe I just got out at the right time. My point is, white supremacy and racism is a problem. It still is a problem in the United States. But I guarantee you, let me clear my throat for what I'm going to say next. I guarantee you, if the United States federal government had done what they were supposed to do by living up to their end of their social contract, I guarantee you there wouldn't be as many people in the streets right now protesting, because people would be home, their economic freedom would be secured, they would have some sort of agency over their lives, and they wouldn't be restricted by these draconian lockdown procedures simply for the purposes of vaccinating everybody. I understand public health. I understand, hey, you know what? We got to keep people safe. We got to keep people, the COVID-19, we want to limit the spread. We want to flatten the curve. And months ago, we were warned about this second wave. Hey, you know what? When the weather gets cold, cases are going to skyrocket. If all the public science and all of the science told us that this was going to happen, then why the hell didn't the government do something about this and making sure that people had some sort of, that there's not miles and miles of people waiting for boxes of food? Why didn't the government do that? Why didn't the government say, hey, you know what? Shit. It's July 31st. Everybody's out barbecuing. The weather's still warm. But you know what? This weather's going to get cold and the flu's going to spike. People are going to get colds, and this coronavirus is going to get crazier. We need to do something now. But what did the government do? The government went ahead and said, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get Amy Coney Barrett put into office. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and declare TikTok a threat to national security. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and continue to bomb more people instead of actually helping the people of the United States. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And then when I go ahead on Instagram and try to talk about some of this stuff and have just daily conversations, so instead of being socially distant like the country wants us to become, they want us to become fractured. They want us to become socially distant. They don't want us coming together. They don't want us uniting. America doesn't want working class white people and working class black people to come together to overthrow the oligarchy that's ruling this country right now. They don't want that. So that's why they use the term socially distant instead of physically distant. I'm not falling for the bullshit. I'm not the smartest cat out here, all right? I'm not the smartest cat out here. But I got a couple of master's degrees, and I've been around the world, and my bullshit meter is pretty good, all right? I'm not using the frame socially distant. I'm using physically distant. They want us to be socially distant, which is exactly why there's millions of people in the streets arguing over the same shit, but not realizing that, hey, you know what? Police brutality is a problem. It's an issue. Yeah, and we should be pissed off about that. But what we should also be pissed off about is these ruling class oligarchs that continue to have their foot on our necks economically. That's what we should also be pissed off about. We should be pissed off about that. Ponita Applebum saying Trump literally held another stimulus over our heads as a re-election tactic. WTFFF. You know what? I partially agree with you with that. Trump did that, but you know who else did that was Nancy D'Alessandro Pelosi. And I used her maiden name in this because I'm going to drop a little gem on each of you. I'm going to drop a little heat on each of you all. Okay? Why did I say D'Alessandro? What's the significance of that? All right? People think that Nancy Pelosi just came out of nowhere and she's 81 years old. Nancy Pelosi has a net worth of over $100 million. How does a public servant, a senator who's now the Speaker of the House, whose salary is probably, typical senator salary is, I think, $174,500. She's Speaker of the House, so she's probably going to make another 20 or 30 grand more. Let's just say she's making $200,000 a year. How does a person who makes $200,000 a year have a net worth of over $100 million? Let's go back into her history. Nancy Pelosi's brother is Thomas D'Alessandro. Thomas D'Alessandro is a former mayor of Baltimore. Their father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., is also a former mayor of Baltimore. Nancy Pelosi comes from a political family. Again, Nancy Pelosi comes from a political family. Nancy Pelosi married a guy named Ron Pelosi, who was a former city supervisor, I think, in San Francisco. Ron's brother, Paul, married a lady named Belinda Newsom. Well, wait a minute, Joe. Why does the name Belinda Newsom sound so familiar? Belinda Newsom is the current governor of California and former mayor of San Francisco, Gavin Newsom's aunt. So yes, Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom are related. Dusty Jones saying $174,000 per annum. Okay, so I missed my $500. Close enough. But you see my point. They're pulling down good money. They're pulling down real good money. Corbin Dallas saying, yeah, they're paid when it comes time to conform. They fall in line quick or lose their cash. Agreed. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's bananas. And the longer that the federal government doesn't do anything for the people, the more you're going to have people in the streets, and not just Black Lives Matter protesters protesting against police officers. You're going to have what I would hope to see happen is workers in the streets saying, hey, you know what? We're not doing anything until our government listens to us. Until our government says, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're going to listen to the people. Then we're not doing anything. Because what the government said was, hey, stay home in the interest of public safety. What I think needs to happen now more than ever is the people of this country who were told to stay home in the interest of public safety should now violate the terms of that social contract. That's what I think needs to happen. Because if the government doesn't want to do anything to make sure that the people are taken care of, then I think the people need to rise up and say, hey, you know what? We're not gonna take this anymore, and we are going to do everything we need to do to make sure that we get what we need so we can survive and we had some sort of life for ourselves. So again, I'm going live on Instagram, not on Instagram. I'm going live on Facebook Live here because Instagram decided to censor me. Again, I said some stuff in a couple of videos yesterday, one on Instagram Live and another that me and Cat Wells did as part of our ongoing chat series called the Joe and Cat Chat series. You can find that on Instagram at Joe and Cat, K-A-T, Chat, C-H-A-T-S. Take a look at that. There's 24 videos. Each of them are about an hour long. And there's gems and pearls of wisdom in each video. This latest video that we dropped yesterday is called Wall Street and the White House. And just watch that video. It's about 59 minutes long. And we talk about some of the different, not all of them, but some of the different connections that Wall Street has to the White House. And essentially how Goldman Sachs has an entire wing in the White House. We talked about all of that. We talked about Steve Mnuchin and how Steve Mnuchin should have never been appointed Secretary of the Treasury and how Steve Mnuchin belongs in jail. We talked about Hank Paulson, former CEO of Goldman Sachs. We talked about Robert Rubin. We talked about the Podesta emails through WikiLeaks and how President Obama's entire cabinet back in 2008, 12 years ago, was selected from a Citigroup executive named Michael Froman. How Michael Froman, in two attachments in the Podesta emails, one attachment was called diversity. The other attachment was called, oh my gosh, I can't remember, women. It was called women. It was women, and then the other was diversity. And it had a list of people that Citigroup approved for Obama's cabinet positions. And if you look at many of the positions that Obama filled, he went right down that piece of paper and, okay, yep, sure looks good. Sure looks good. And then some of the people that he didn't choose are people that are being picked for cabinet positions in the Biden administration. One of the names is a lady named Michelle Flournoy, who was on those Podesta emails. She is the odds-on favorite to become the Secretary of the Treasury. Not Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense. Look up Michelle Flournoy's history. In the latest video that Kat and I did, we talked about Gina Raimondo, and she's the current governor of Rhode Island. Again, governor of Rhode Island, making $115,000 a year, former venture capitalist on Wall Street, has a net worth of over $300 million. And she is the main choice right now to be the Secretary of the Treasury. It's bananas what this country is doing right now. It's absolutely shambolic what is happening with the United States right now. Bananas, it's crazy. And again, Instagram said, hey, you know what, Joe? You're speaking too much truth. You're dropping too many gems. You're talking a whole lot. We're going to shut you down for today. Okay, cool. Just like I said in my documentary, out to Derek, who filmed that documentary, out to Derek and everybody else that was involved in that, and Jesse, and everybody else that was involved in that documentary. This documentary of me on YouTube, just type in the search term Joe Nice Double Drop. The documentary is 5 years old. But in that documentary, I said, look, you can turn my mic off. You can't turn me off. And I'm feeling that now more than ever. You can turn my mic off. You can't turn me off. You can turn my mic off. You can't turn me off. So if anybody else has anything they want to share with me, let me know. I'm around. I'm here for a few more minutes. If not, hopefully Facebook doesn't try to censor this video and take this down. But if they do, okay, we'll keep it moving. Out to main man Marcos saying, can't thank you enough for the Political Truth and Knowledge Show, helping people see the truth. Look, man, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm not, I don't know everything, but someone's got to say something. Someone's got to do something. Someone's got to say something. Someone's got to do something. And now more than ever, and everybody knows me. Hey, Joe, you're the guy that helped bring dubstep to the United States. And you're the guy that helped start the first dubstep party in North America, and you did this and you did that, and you got a record label, and you've been to all these countries and all of that. That's all well and good. Congratulations, yippee. But now more than ever, the reason why I decided to become a DJ and decided to become an artist, so to speak, is to express myself in at least in this form musically. But now more than ever, artists should be speaking out against the status quo. Artists shouldn't, again, I got no problem with anybody that wants to go ahead and play live sets and do stuff for festivals and power mix on the radio and all of that. That's all well and good. Go for it. Again, I'm never going to be one to say, hey, but don't express yourself the way you want to express yourself. But I think now more than ever, artists should be saying, hey, you know what? We're being screwed by this entire pandemic. We're being screwed by this entire pandemic, especially our brothers and sisters in England right now who are getting shit from Boris Johnson and their government. We should stand up. We should speak out. We should stand up. We should speak out. Rye James saying, appreciate you the truth. Let me try it again. Rye James saying, appreciate you speaking the truth. Not enough people are. Hey, look, I'm just one man. I'm just out here doing what I know how to do. And again, Corbin Dallas saying, I don't like to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but that movie, Obama Deception, makes more sense day by day. Try to look it up if you haven't and see if it is bullshit or truth for yourself. Yeah, they have our culture on lock right now. It is sad. Look, again, give me about 30 seconds. I want to get a drink of water and I'm coming back. 30 seconds. All right, I'm back. It didn't take long. Told you. 30 seconds or less. All right. Again, I haven't seen that movie, Obama Deception. I haven't seen it, but I'd imagine that everything that we already know about Obama was probably confirmed in that movie. And I know his new book, and I forget the name. In fact, I wrote the name of the book down here. The name of the book is called A Promised Land. And supposedly it is a 2-volume situation. The first volume is something like 700 pages. The next volume is going to come out sometime later. And I got no problem saying this. If I never, ever, 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 ever hear or see from Barack Obama again, it will be too soon. If I never hear again from him again or see him again, it'll be too soon. Obama completely screwed over this country. And again, I fell for the bullshit. I fell for the okie doke. People were calling me Joe Obama. I was like, hey, yeah, Obama, great. Hey, we got a black president. We got a black president that didn't do anything for black people. Then we got a black president that was totally bought and captured by corporate interest. Completely. Barack Obama turned Libya into a failed state and an open slave market. Barack Obama made the Bush tax cuts permanent. Barack Obama failed to do anything in Flint, Michigan to make sure those people have water. Barack Obama repealed habeas corpus. Barack Obama said, hey, we'll let this whole thing at Standing Rock play out and we'll see what happens. Then sent the troops in. And no one said, hey, you know what? No one was bitching and moaning when Barack Obama did that in Standing Rock or when he did that in Baltimore or did it in Ferguson. But when Trump does it, it's, oh my God, how could Trump go ahead and bring in the military? Well, Obama did it. Obama did the same shit. He did the same shit. Obama tortured Chelsea Manning. And he said that on TV. Oh, we tortured some people. Obama said, hey, you know what? We're going to close Guantanamo Bay. Never did it. Obama supported repealing Glass-Steagall and it bailed out Wall Street, and made all the banks bigger. All of them. Every single one of them. Obama kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes with the bank bailout. And Steve Mnuchin's a part of that with One West Bank. Watch the video that me and Kat did on the Wall Street of the White House. Watch that video. You'll see it. All the drone strikes in Yemen and turned that into a complete famine state. When Barack Obama became president in 2008, the United States was actively bombing 2 countries. When he left, a little more than 4 years ago, the United States was actively bombing 7 countries. 7. Barack Obama said, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and be more environmentally friendly. But at the same time, opened the Arctic to shale oil drilling twice. When black people were getting killed in the streets by white police officers, Barack Obama failed to do anything with respect to launching a Department of Justice investigation as to why black people were consistently getting killed in the street by white police officers. And the biggest crime of all of that is for years ago, when it was black people getting killed by white police officers, the narrative was, oh, well, hey, you know what? There's no black people in positions of power to try to influence any sort of change. We don't have any black judges. We don't have any black mayors. We don't have any black governors. We don't have any black state's attorneys. We don't have any black district attorneys. We don't have a black attorney general. So what did we end up? What did we end up with? We ended up with Barack Obama, and Barack Obama not only had one black attorney general, Eric Holder, who was actually a holdover from the Clinton administration, but we end up getting a second black attorney general in Loretta Lynch, and neither of them did anything to say, hey, Department of Justice, let's go ahead and investigate why all these white cops are killing black people. He didn't do anything. Barack Obama was more concerned about Hillary Clinton getting into the White House than he was more concerned about making sure that black people that look like him didn't get killed in the streets. When a bunch of school kids get shot up by a white terrorist, Barack Obama was really good about crying and we got to do something about this, but failed to do shit for gun reform. One of my master's degrees is in a discipline of healthcare, so I understand the Affordable Care Act a little bit better than most. And there, by the way, if you watch the Joe and Cat Chat series, we did 2 entire episodes on the healthcare system. We talked about it in episode number 5, where I broke down what the Affordable Care Act actually is, and then we did another update about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Most people don't know this, but Barack Obama, a Democrat, gave America Mitt Romney's healthcare plan. He did. He gave Barack Obama, the Democrat, gave America the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank. He gave America a right-wing think tank. Failed to give Medicare for all. He didn't even talk about a public option. And then when Trump comes in and says, hey, you know what? You see this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which was essentially called the Republican Tax Cut Plan? Oh, you see this fancy rule called the individual mandate? I'm going to make that $0. So right now, the Affordable Care Act right now, you can line your bird cage with that right now. It's useless. And then when the Supreme Court in the next few weeks or next few months goes ahead and strikes down the Affordable Care Act as being unconstitutional, good luck. Good luck. Barack Obama wanted to prosecute Julian Assange. Barack Obama failed to pardon Edward Snowden. He deported more people than every other president alive. To Carter Chemist saying, wow, brother, can't believe they censored you. I'm out though, gotta work, stay up, and a 7 emojis. All right. Hey, this is what it is. And it wasn't like, I don't think anybody reported me, because if I was reported, then somebody would have said, hey, then Instagram would have said, hey, you know what? We have a problem with this particular post or this particular video that you presented. Somebody reported this, or that somebody would have deleted that particular media that I presented to everybody. That wasn't the case. It was, hey, we're going to shut your voice. We're going to silence you for a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Aren't Night at the Danger Dion Eagleman. Let's read this. Aren't 90% of the presidents related to each other distantly? As King Louis, who signed the Magna Carta and democracy, it's no difference. Obama declined to answer that, but it's hard to say. Here it is. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Let me keep reading here. But it's hard to say culture when so many tribes around the world were inquisitioned and given a new history. As far as I know, in my language, we have no word for culture. All that stuff is taught. That's why Rome centralized school, government, and religion. Indoctrination at its fullest. People are acting like what happened here to my people happened to other folks on other lands. Those lighter shades first. I agree. It's the continued manifestation of white supremacy. It's if it's white, it must be right. John Sarbach saying the list just goes on and on. Never stop peeking truth, Joe. Love you, man. Love you back, John. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Rion Razmataz saying, so Hillary's going to become ambassador in the UN. That is the talk right now. So let's keep reading a couple more things. John PFE saying, thanks for spitting greets from Germany. Brother, I wish I was in Germany right now. Berlin, Hamburg, Cologne, Gelsenkirchen, wherever. Darmstadt. Really like Darmstadt. Oh boy, good times in Darmstadt. Yeah. Germany. I'd love to be there right now. One-way ticket. I'll put all this stuff in a storage bin. I still have some miles on United Airlines. John PFE saying, thanks for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate you. Corbin Dallas saying, yeah, they're totally stopping our free speech with censorship. Yep, they're doing it. Rion's getting back to the whole situation about Hillary going to become the United States ambassador to the UN. If that happens, you can expect more militarization, and more war, not only internationally, but intranationally. You can expect increased militarization of police in the United States. You can book that. You can book it. And my biggest issue with Obama is right now, Obama was more concerned about his legacy than about doing anything for the people. Obama was more concerned about doing something for his legacy than something for the people. And I guarantee you, if Hillary Clinton had won the election in 2016, you see these memoirs that he's written up, these memoirs would have come out right after Hillary Clinton got elected because nobody saw Obama coming. Nobody saw it happening. Nobody saw that a junior senator out of Illinois could become president of the United States. No one thought that could ever happen. But what happened is Obama became the very manifestation of neoliberalism. He became the manifestation of identity politics, and he became the literal manifestation of virtue signaling. So what better way to cement his legacy than to have a female version of everything that of neoliberalism take over in the White House? What happened? Trump completely fucked up those plans. So when we ended up, because of 8 years of neoliberal policies that completely hollowed out the working class, you end up with a right-wing demagogue in Donald Trump. That's what you have happen. So now you end up with Trump. You get 4 years of Trump. Obama reluctantly backed Joe Biden. Quite honestly, Obama would have rather had Kamala Harris as president than Joe Biden. But Obama reluctantly backed Joe Biden. Joe Biden ended up being president, but then Obama must have said to Joe Biden, "Hey, I'll back you, but you're going to pick Kamala Harris as your vice president. Otherwise, you're not getting any sort of endorsement from me. Otherwise, you're not getting anything from me." And Joe Biden, being as senile and useless as he is, and vapid and feckless as he is, said, "Yep, sure, no problem. I'll do exactly what you say." And I guarantee you, all of these picks that you're seeing right now for Biden's cabinet, they're coming from Obama's estate, 46-acre estate in Martha's Vineyard. That's what they're coming from. They're not coming from actual consultants in Washington, D.C. These are all Obama picks. And Obama knows that Joe Biden is not going to last 8 years. Biden might not last 4 years. So then guess who steps in? Kamala Harris. And I guarantee you, if Kamala Harris becomes president of the United States, Obama will have a bigger political legacy than the Kennedy family. Think about that. Obama would have a bigger political legacy than the Kennedy family. Here's why I'm saying that. Because if Kamala Harris becomes president, he will have essentially destroyed the Clintons forever, because nobody cares about what Hillary Clinton wants to say, and nobody cares about a Bill Clinton endorsement anymore. No one does. No one does. And let's not forget, not only did Barack Obama destroy the Clinton political machine, Hillary Clinton ended up working for Obama. It wasn't the other way around. Hillary Clinton ended up working for Obama. And now Hillary Clinton might potentially end up working for Biden. And if Kamala Harris becomes president, it would be the pinnacle of woke theatrics, virtue signaling, and identity politics on the highest form. And think about all the similarities and parallels that Kamala Harris and Barack Obama have. All of them, including treating black people like shit for their own political gains. There's loads of similarities. There's a lot of them. You can go over all of them. Seb Lazinski saying, went through my teenage years listening to all your mixed sigs, bro. Now it's a decade later and you're speaking big truths and fighting for what is good in the world. You have always been an inspiration. Let me keep reading here. Joe, big love from Canada. Thank you, Seb. I appreciate you. Big love back, my brother. Where you from in Canada, man? Where you from in Canada? And I love Canada. I've been all over Canada. I've been to 9 of the 13 provinces in Canada. I've been to every province on the border except Prince Edward Island, and I haven't been to the 3 up north because they're just way up north. John P. saying, but to be honest, man, COVID fucks up the situation so much here. I saw your dialogue Rock Limit days back, which inspired me to follow you. Glad I did. Gonna look a bit now. Let me inspire. Hey, out to my man Chris. We had a nice chat the other day. And we talked for a little bit and we covered a lot of ground in that chat. I remember it was about 3.5, maybe 4 weeks ago. Rion saying, crazy, she's getting assigned such a position of power. I agree. And Hillary Clinton is bought and paid for. And if she becomes the United Nations the UN ambassador, U.S. ambassador to the UN, wow. Again, expect more militarization, expect more government contracts going to Honeywell and Northrop Grumman. It's going to be bananas. Ron Razmatai is saying, if Trump isn't successful appealing the vote to the Congress where they count state colors instead of the Electoral College. The Electoral College is crazy. I did a video on my Instagram outlining the Electoral College and how it's rooted in white supremacy and slavery. Let's not forget the Electoral College was created out of what is called the Three-Fifths Compromise, where people like me back during the slave times a couple of 100 years ago were considered 3/5 of a human being. Look up the Three-Fifths Compromise and how that's related to Electoral College. Or you can just look up one of the teaser videos that I talked about on my Instagram feed and you'll see it. It says Electoral College. It's about a 6.5 or 7 minute video where I talked about how the Electoral College is directly related to slavery and white supremacy and how this United States is still using their Electoral College to select the president of the United States. Joe Kellen saying, voted for Biden and Kamala, terrified for her to become president. Hey, look, Joe, I'm not going to tell anybody how they should or should not vote. There are 4 amendments of the Constitution that secure people's rights to vote for the presidency of the United States. You have the 15th Amendment, which said, hey, black folks, you get the right to vote. There's the 19th Amendment that said, hey, women, you get the right to vote. There's the 23rd Amendment that says, hey, citizens of Washington, D.C., you can vote for the presidency of the United States. And there's a 26th Amendment that said, hey, if you're 18 years old or older, you can also vote for the presidency of the United States. So again, I'm not going to tell you how to vote and what you should vote for, but there's a big problem when people vote identity politics rather than policy. Eric Darwin Norberg, listening here from Vancouver Island. I miss Vancouver Island. I miss Victoria. I miss Comox. I miss all the other islands out that way too. Salt Spring, Bowen, Good times. Tyson Moore say after Rion saying Base Coast alumni. Let me tell you, I love Base Coast. Jesus. Wish I wish I could have played Base Coast this year. I would have torn it apart just like I did in 2017, just like I did in 2018. Man, wow. Tyson Morris, thanks for speaking up. You're a true voice. Saskatchewan misses you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tyson. And let me tell you, Saskatchewan was a good time. Electric Sky Music Festival was bananas last summer. All the way out in Big River, Saskatchewan. Are you kidding me? What in the world? My God. Flew out to Saskatoon. And then Big River was, my gosh, how bad was Big River? Big River was about almost a 3-hour drive outside of Saskatoon. And there's not much going on in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan to begin with anyway. So imagine driving 2.5 to 3 hours outside of that. Nothing far. And what a blast that was. What a great festival that was. I was supposed to play that this summer also. I was supposed to come back and make an appearance at that festival this past summer. But COVID screwed those plans up. I was going to play a pile of shit this summer. But hey, no one did anything this summer. Because we were told not to do anything this summer. But not only the United States government, but the Canadian government. And look at how Trudeau is screwing over people there too. Ending CERB. Completely ending CERB. And putting people back on EI. And EI pays less money than CERB. And then it's, we can't afford it. Canada better do something. But at least, thank you, Tommy Douglas, at least Canada has healthcare. And decent healthcare. We in America don't have that. Because healthcare is tied to your job in the United States. And if you don't have a job, you're going to have a hard time getting healthcare. At least Canada has that. So we can thank Tommy Douglas for that, who I think was the former premier in Saskatchewan. Simon Schott saying, hey man, this all sounds so grim. I follow US politics a little bit by listening to the Daily and German podcast here and there. I wonder at this point, are there people close to the peak of highest power which actually seem genuine and nice personalities which are worth supporting, except for Sanders? Cheers. Simon, first of all, good to hear from you. Second of all, quite honestly, no. I have zero confidence in anybody in Congress right now. Anybody. Because none of them are doing anything right now to help serve the American people. None of them. And the one person that should have been president of the United States, the one person that had a movement of the people, was that independent senator from Vermont, Bernard Sanders. Bernie Sanders had the people behind him. He had the people behind him. And when Bernie Sanders at the DNC back in 2016, when all the Sanders supporters walked out, when Hillary Clinton got the nomination, Bernie Sanders should have walked out with them. And he didn't. And he thought, hey, you know what? I'll just play along with the Democratic Party. They're not going to screw me over. And what did they do? They screwed him over. And what ended up happening? Trump won. So then 4 years later, it's, hey, you know what? I'll try to do this again. The DNC won't screw me over. The DNC screwed him over again. Then he went ahead and voted for the CARES Act, which is the largest upward transfer of wealth in human history. And when Democrats had all the leverage in Congress to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to do just temporary $600 increases on unemployment. We're going to figure out a universal basic income. Oh, and you see this whole healthcare situation where healthcare is tied to your job? We're not doing that. We're going to go ahead and make sure that everybody has healthcare, not only during this pandemic, but after this pandemic. And we're going to make sure the government pays all their medical bills. The Democrats in the House and the Senate could have held the Senate's feet over the fire and made sure that happened. They didn't do any of that. None of that. They completely capitulated. And people are wondering why there's food lines 3 and 4 miles long. The Democrats in the House could have said, hey, you know what? In addition to making sure that we get a universal basic income, we're going to expand SNAP benefits to everybody. SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, essentially food stamps. We're going to make sure that, hey, while we're going ahead and trying to make sure that people can have money and pay for their bills and do other stuff, we're not going to have to pay for as much as for your food because the government's going to subsidize it. The government could have done this, but they failed to do that. Jacob saying, even having a job, food service, I haven't had health insurance in 7 years. And you have a job. And you have a job. And you haven't had health insurance in 7 years. That's criminal. That is fucking criminal. Simon Schatz saying, yeah, they really fucked this one up big time. I agree. They did. Simon, you're in Germany. And in Germany, I know Angela Merkel went ahead and had that program. And it's a really long German word. I remember reading about this, where essentially they backstopped workers' wages. So unemployment in Germany right now is, I think, at 3.5% or 4%. Right now, supposedly unemployment in the United States is at 11%, which I don't believe at all, by any stretch of the imagination. Because with unemployment in the United States, the way they calculate unemployment is based upon a specific time frame where you are out of work. If you are out of work for longer than that specified time, which I think is 27 weeks, you are considered what's called long-term unemployed. And long-term unemployed are not counted with the current unemployment statistics. So 27 weeks works out to 4, 6, 24, 27 weeks works out to almost 7 months. The pandemic's been going on since March, so we're at 8 months. Think about how many people have been out of work since the pandemic took place. They're now, quote unquote, technically part of the long-term unemployed. If you added all the long-term unemployed to underemployed people and something called discouraged workers, that's a whole other category of workers. You all can look up what that terminology actually means. Unemployment in this country is way over 11%. Unemployment in this country is probably 25 to 30%. Maybe more than that. Maybe more than that. So when the Department of Labor comes out with these unemployment statistics on every Wednesday, I think it's Thursday when they do it, and don't believe those numbers. John saying, am I right when I assume Kennedy tried to bring back a wind of change in the U.S. back in the day? Sure. He tried to do a lot of stuff. That's why we ended up with a couple of bullets in the back of his head. That's why his brother tried to do stuff. That's why he ended up with bullets in the back of his head. That's why Malcolm X ended up getting assassinated. That's why on April 4th, 1968, at a motel in Memphis, Tennessee, Martin Luther King got killed. That's why Fred Hampton, 21 years old, was organizing a labor movement of working class black people and working class white people. He was unifying people together, and the government ended up killing him. So, but look, it's coming up a few minutes to 2 o'clock. I'm going to eat some lunch. All right, I'm going to make some salad. I'm going to steam up this cabbage. And try to stay healthy as much as I can. Out to everybody that's watching this video. There's a lot going on. There's going to be a lot of moves being made. The podcast is coming. I've already got all the audio from all 24 episodes of the Joe and Cat Chat series. We're going to get that podcast moving. And I have a YouTube channel with all of those videos up, but I think I'm going to start doing some more stuff on YouTube, get my subscriber count up there, and really start moving the way I need to move. Eric saying it's been a good hour. Hey, appreciate you. Thanks. Be safe in Vancouver. Vancouver Island. I know those the cases are spiking out of control there too. Lux Hay saying steam, brother. 100 degrees Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit. Nothing but steam. That's how we do it. At the Jan saying stay positive. I appreciate you. Marco saying thank you, Joe. Corbin saying stay up, G. Look, man, I'm always staying up. Never go down. Never go down. Never go down, brother. I'm on that anti-gravity. You know what I mean? I'm like one of those floats in the Thanksgiving Day parade. Always staying up. Always staying up. The Rion saying, stay strong. Look, I am. That's why I do these 5-mile walks every morning, getting those 10,000 steps in. Mixing these 1 pump and 2 pump burpees also. And I got 3 kettlebells over here. I'm going to swing the big one tomorrow. I got a 52 kilogram. I'm going to get a couple of 100 swings of that in tomorrow. So Tyson Moore saying, cheers, homie. Right on, respect. Jacob saying, take care, Joe. Appreciate you. All right. Look, when this video gets posted, share it on all your social media platforms and outlets. Post it up. Let people know what happened to me today. Instagram censored me. And that's cool. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. That means I'm pissing off the right people. That means my message is being heard. And that's perfect. That's perfect. All right? Stay close, everybody. Be well. Stay healthy. One love and peace. Gotta go.